The phrase "God in the Machine" is popularly used in Hollywood thanks to its fanciful sound and versatility. It describes an unexpected event, character, ability, or object that resolves a seemingly unresolvable narrative. Despite its appeal to blockbuster producers, this was once a profound tool to end the conflict or conclude the drama in Greek tragedies and comedies. Classical poets, who valued structure and poetic elements over a seamless plotline, found it a necessary device. We must look through an alternate lens to mediate the fracturing of reality during a field cycle. The observer and the system the observer is observing act as a commutable pair. Together, the separate observations are two sides of the same coin. The two particles are simultaneously observing and being observed. The fracturing of reality also fractures observations made between the two parties in the system. Despite the two parties experiencing a unique observation of the field cycle, we must contemplate the two different observations together and simultaneously. Let's construct a diagram to clarify and further investigate the duality between the two particles' observations. Initially, reality is observed. At this point, it makes no difference which particle we select as our primary observer. Both particle A and particle B observe the same reality. Instantaneously, the field is observed by the pair of particles. Consequently, we can see that each particle in the system is now experiencing a unique observation of the field cycle. Next, we can see separately both particles observe processes individually as the field cycle progresses. Eventually, both particles reconstruct reality. Once again, both particles are observing the same existence. Suddenly, the field is observed again. Once again, both parties observe their unique reality. The field cycle progresses and eventually mediates the fractured observations. Again, and again, observing the field fractures reality again, and again, the particles undergo processes to reconstruct their observed reality. Despite being unique for both particles in the system, an external observer can only observe a field cycle as a combination of the two distinct observations. An external observer cannot separately observe processes undertaken by individual particles. So, what does this tell us about external observations of field cycles? When the two distinct observations are overlaid simultaneously, we see that all relationships are equal and opposite. We can see that these equal and opposite relationships form a completely internal mechanism throughout the entirety of the field cycle. All external observers will observe the processes of a field cycle as completely internalized in the system. Knowing this, we can see how it would be impossible for an external observer to observe any changes occurring during field cycles inside a system. Thanks to the unique structure of the scalar field, field cycles occur entirely internally to the system.